Ciao, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I recently went to Florida and I did a really good job documenting all the meals that I made, a lot of the things that I ate, very realistic Mediterranean diet, kind of what I eat in a day, meal planning, grocery shopping. It is a whole entire lifestyle. There is no diet without the lifestyle. You can eat Mediterranean labeled food, but that only goes so far. So anyways, I love to share travel with you guys. I'm a huge advocate for it, and breaking up and getting away from your routine is utterly necessary. So it was a good refresh. So let's hop into the amazing time that I had in Florida. So the first day we went to go get groceries, but I stopped for the first of many acai bowls for the trip. You're gonna get a little annoyed with me. I'm in my acai era. Oh no, aesthetics have been ruined. This is like, where do I even begin? Ooh. The coconut butter is so good. So good. I would be broke if I could eat these every day. Big bite. Best one ever. I got an amazing acai bowl on a rainy day to start off the trip. Got home and started all of the cooking. So this is also, like, I thought would be very useful in case you are taking a longer Airbnb trip this summer where you can cook food at home in the place that you're staying, but you don't want to be wasteful and throw away a bunch of food. This is how I go about thinking of really simple meals, yet really flavorful meals. So I think of always flavor bombs. What is the flavor of a meal and what is the variations I can get out of it? So when I think of a flavor bomb, I grew up eating, it was one of my favorite family dinners. My mom was the queen of family dinners. It was so awesome. She put a dinner on the table every night and we all sat down as a family, which is something that I think is so crucial to the way that I grew up and how I view my food and my lifestyle today. But she did fajita night. So basically it's like 3 or 4 salsas, marinated proteins, tortillas, cheese, and then you can just build it how you want to. So when I think of that, I think of the flavor bombs of limes, cilantro, onions, jalapenos, all those aromatics. You can put it in everything. So I thought of kind of a very Tex-Mex, very Americanized Mexican kind of style of cooking. We had fish, so I just did a quick blackening seasoning of fish. If you buy a really nice seasoning, it is airport friendly. You can put it in your suitcase in a plastic baggie, you can put it in your carry-on. And then so I did the blackening seasoning on the fish. The cilantro lime rice was cilantro and lime, and then frozen brown rice. I did cilantro, lime, jalapeno for the guacamole. So you have mashed up avocados, you can make guacamole, and then you have avocado to use in sandwiches or things like that. I did roasted corn. I got frozen corn that is really good with just cilantro, lime juice. Add onions, you could add jalapenos to that as well. I added feta. I feel like feta is such a versatile cheese that it can be eaten with a lot of different things. So I put the feta in with the corn, kind of like a cojita. That was kind of my riff off of it. And then I did a mango, pepper, cucumber salsa. And then I can use the cucumbers in other ways I will show you later on. And mangoes you can have for breakfast as well. So any fruit, you know, doubles up as a breakfast or a snack. If you're gonna buy these things, this is how I kind of understood to use them all in all these different recipes. You're using up everything. The goal with me is always avoid food waste. That is my biggest pet peeve. And so going into this, I wanted to create meals that would avoid food waste. So I did a really fun fajita night. And then the variations. So the tortillas, you could make quesadillas with what's left over if you wanted to also get shredded cheese, and you could do that. And then you can, you know, have the salsas and the guacamole on the side. You could get a bag of tortilla chips, and that way you just, you know, pack up the tortilla chips if you don't finish them, and they can be in your carry-on and you can snack on them on the way home. But you could get tortilla chips and make nachos. You can make a burrito bowl, so just use the rice, add some all that salsas in. Like, I think the variation of meals makes you feel like, yes, you're eating the same thing over again, but just it's kind of nice to have it in a different variation if you want that. So that was kind of my concept of meal one. If you have leftover tortillas, you can bake them, just a drizzle of olive oil, and you can use any kind of seasonings or just salt, bake them off, and you have homemade tortilla chips, and I sometimes crush those up and put those in my salads. You can put them in a baggie and just eat them as regular chips. They're a great snack. And then meal two was pesto. The variations of pesto are endless if you have a blender wherever you're staying, but if you don't have a blender, just buying a jar of pesto, it's an awesome idea. It's a flavor bomb to make so many meals with simple ingredients. That way you're not going to be wasteful buying a bunch of ingredients. You buy really simple, minimal ingredients, and then you have these flavor bombs that make the meals so delicious and give you so much variety within your meals throughout the week. By the end of the trip, your meals will become a little bit imperfect because you're just trying to use up everything that you still have left over. But in the beginning, at least you can have some really nice at-home cooked meals while you're traveling. And then with the pesto, it was really fun to make pesto sandwiches, which are awesome. It's mozzarella, turkey. You could even get like a package of prosciutto. The other thing with the pesto is I used up all of the ingredients in the pesto besides the pistachios. But pistachios are great to also take with you as a travel snack in your carry-on, or you can even, like I said, pack them in your suitcase. Made obviously caprese. Instead of just using fresh basil and caprese, I just kind of thinned out the pesto a lot to mix in with some arugula, some mozzarella, some tomatoes. Classic, doesn't get old. I did go to the farmer's market while I was there, and I did pick up some gorgeous tomatoes. Market was a lot of fun. Of course, acai bowl to end it, because why not? And I made an amazing tomato feta pesto salad. I also added in some arugula to that too. I don't know if I showed that. But again, just another great way of variation. Maybe if you didn't want the mozzarella, you have that feta. And then speaking of feta, I also picked up a watermelon because it just felt on theme. And with watermelon, it's one of my most favorite refreshing snacks, and also it makes an amazing watermelon feta salad. So I did a watermelon feta and cucumber salad with mint. And so that was amazing. If you don't like cucumbers or feta, you just want to do watermelon and mint and a little bit of lime juice. So we're using up those limes from the fajita night. It was so good. It's such a refreshing snack. I could eat like 6 bowls of watermelon. I've given myself insane stomach aches before because I took the whole eating in moderation out of moderation when it came to watermelon. I have eaten so much watermelon, my stomach has been so mad at me for it. And then for breakfast, I'm so stupid boring. I love a nice cup of black coffee, some fruit, a protein bar, call it a day. I was a little bit like bodybuilder, I did bring my own protein powder with me, which is kind of like ridiculous. I don't recommend being that hard, but I don't know. I love these lattes a lot. So I love to make my little protein coffees. If I didn't get an acai bowl out that day, I was making homemade smoothie bowls. I am back in my smoothie bowl era as well. So if I wasn't paying the overpriced, insane price of a gosh darn acai bowl, making my own homemade smoothie bowls. So I made a strawberry one with the leftover baklava granola. I had made that recipe like 3 or 4 days before I left for this trip. So I was like, okay, no way am I gonna just let this get stale. I'm bringing it with me. But if you want to buy granola while, you know, you're on a trip, I think it's really smart because, again, it's just like the seasoning or the nuts. It's a great travel thing, and granola is just, you know, good for everything. You put some milk on it, it's some cereal, you can eat it by the handful as a snack, put it on some fruit, put it on some yogurt. Yogurt is an awesome thing also to get mini yogurt cups. So full of protein, and they're portioned out, and it's a great snack. But instead of that, I got a whole container of yogurt because I knew I'd be making smoothie bowls. So when I used up the rest of my baklava granola, I bought some key lime granola that was actually by a super cool brand. I wanted to keep in theme with being in the tropical Florida area, and I decided to make a mango, because I had leftover mangoes from the mango salsa, a mango key lime smoothie bowl, coconut mango key lime smoothie bowl. It was incredible. All those smoothie bowls hit the spot. I made so many meals at home because we did take a weekend trip to Palm Beach. I had never been to Palm Beach before. I wanted to go for my birthday. It's a gorgeous area, and there's a little bit of history to it as well, which I thought was super interesting. So we spent the entire weekend in Palm Beach, which was incredible. After a long 3-hour drive from the Gulf side to the Atlantic, we stopped in Juneau to look at the gorgeous beach, the gorgeous view and ocean, and walk down the awesome famous pier. It was absolutely stunning. It was a gorgeous day. The water was actually amazing. The colors were so crystal clear, and from turquoise to dark blue, the water kind of faded, and I really loved that experience. And we were starving. It was about noon, so after Juneau, we went to go get an acai bowl. I know you're so sick of me with acai bowls, but this one was definitely good. It wasn't the best, but it was really good. And if there's something about me when I travel, I'm going to research and find the most local places possible. So this was Papa Kwan, and it was packed, so I know it was a super popular place, and I can't stand really big chains, so I try to avoid them as much as possible. I'm not perfect, of course. I go to chains, but I really want to find really cool businesses that are small and just support them. And then we went to the Inlet Lighthouse in Jupiter, very famous, an incredible view. It was so difficult walking to the top of that, the winding stairs, it feeling like it was like 100 degrees, but we walked all the way to the top, and it was in a gorgeous panoramic view of Jupiter, so I highly recommend it. Plus I got, you know, a little history lesson, and just made me appreciate the town even more. And like I said, that water is amazing. I really enjoyed getting to go to the lighthouse. And then I kind of asked some locals if there was a downtown, like old historic area, and they said not really, but I did find this place called Harborside Place, which is just a super bougie shopping mall and restaurant area, but there was little details that made it really fun to travel around to. Of course, this Jupiter like wall, it was so beautiful, and then the big Jupiter sign, which is very cheesy but at the same time cute. And lastly, we ended the night with one of the most memorable parts of this weekend, which was Guanabanas. This restaurant was so South Florida-esque. I mean, everything about it was so, I hate to say it, but very aesthetic. It had like 10,000 reviews online, so I knew it had to be something incredible. And honestly, the food was really good too. I was not expecting really anything with the food, given kind of the vibe, but the salad was pretty good, and I got pompano, I think that's the type of fish, encrusted with coconut, and it just hit the spot. It was the perfect kind of treat. And then speaking of treats, of course, yeah, I googled for the best gelato. The line was insane, maybe because there was like barely any gelato places in the area, but on the way back to the Airbnb, we stopped for gelato because I ate a salad and acai bowl, so I deserve some gelato, you know what I mean? It was the perfect thing to hit the spot before ending the day, and I absolutely loved it. ciao. We are in West Palm Beach, and I thought the best way to start my birthday would be a farmer's market. So let's head to the farmer's market. This was the biggest farmer's market I have ever been to. It was overwhelming. The amount of florals, crafty goods that were for sale, jewelry, pastries, produce, breads, like honestly, just it was more for social hour and walking than purchasing. I don't know. It was amazing for sure. But like I said, overwhelming. And I helped this sweet lady find a piece of jewelry that she had dropped on the ground. So she gave me a free ring, which was very sweet of her. But anyways, after the overwhelming farmer's market, we walked across the bridge because I've heard terrible things about parking in Palm Beach, and it was a gorgeous day and I love to walk. So we walked all the way down the bridge to the actual Palm Beach Island, and sweating, starving, stopped at the Royal Poincia Plaza, which is, like, let me tell you, very designer-y and very gorgeous kind of little shopping area, and it had this awesome acai place. Cooled off and chilled out for a little bit, and then went on some more walking to the ultra famous, ultra gorgeous Breakers. It is one of the most stunning hotels I have ever been in. It is actually very famous. It has a lot of history. The founder is Henry Morrison Flagger, who really transformed South Florida into a vacation destination. So there's a lot of history to the Breakers. And we got a drink at the bar. The bar was so cool. Did you see those little Nemos? Like, how unique and cool is that? I think it's totally worth it to explore somewhere like this and just kind of treat yourself to a drink or a coffee or something, just to see the property and stuff like that. And then I went to go get a salad at the Field of Greens, which was also on Palm Beach Island, and I was super impressed by the portions that they gave, because sometimes when you get salads out, it can be super disappointing. And then we walked over the bridge to get the car to see the fabulous and iconic clock tower. Off of Worth Ave. Worth Avenue is a super famous area of Palm Beach. It's just a bunch of shopping and restaurants, and you just feel, I don't know, really like you're transported somewhere different when you walk down Worth Ave. The architecture and details are absolutely amazing. And then we stopped for another drink at the iconic famous Colony Hotel, which I guess kind of got famous during the 60s and 70s because it was a great hotel for a lot of famous musicians at the time, like Frank Sinatra and some other musicians stayed here. And it was just something literally out of a movie. I felt like I was in an old time fashion, like very rich time movie. I can't even explain it. It was just very beautiful. And then lastly, stopped for dinner at a pizza place because pizza is my favorite food. So I had to eat pizza on my birthday, and I got a tiramisu, which is one of my favorite desserts. So it was kind of perfect and so well enjoyed, and we didn't want the day to end. So what is there to do in Florida but enjoy the weather outside in the evening with some putt-putt. I'm terrible at putt-putt, but hey, it was something to do, more walking, more activity. I love just really enjoying the day, and that was the perfect Saturday in West Palm and Palm Beach. When it came to the last day, I was kind of out of ideas of things to do before we left to go back to the Gulf side. So, of course, I searched for one last acai bowl. And there's this really famous, yes, it is a chain, but just throughout Miami, and now there's one in Palm Beach called Pura Vida, and it is so popular, so I wanted to give it a try for myself. And it's in this really, really gorgeous shopping area called Rosemary Square, and it was all right. The acai bowl was all right. The avocado toast with smoked salmon was delicious, and I can see why it was so popular. It is a really great place, but it wasn't like the best thing I'd ever had. But it was a really good way to enjoy a gorgeous morning. No rush, just chilled and relaxed and ate something delicious, and that concluded the trip. So after Palm Beach, we came back to the Gulf side and watched some more gorgeous sunsets to finish off the trip. Of course, I had to eat one last acai bowl. Okay, final acai bowl of the trip. Stacked. I think this is probably the 6th one. Before packing up, there was a insane amount of feta left, so I made myself a huge feta and more tomatoes from that farmer's market that I got. I got little mini ones as well as that big heirloom one for a huge airport salad, because like I've said, I ain't paying none of those prices at the airport. So that kind of concludes what I eat on the Mediterranean diet, being the Mediterranean lifestyle while I travel. And I hope this was super helpful. I was limited to certain things that I could make, and definitely kind of took where I was in to count for how I cooked things. A huge part of the Mediterranean lifestyle is to go with the flow when you're in a new season or when you're traveling, of eating what's around you. I mean, we live in a modern world, hence the reason why I've coined modern Mediterranean living. There's only so much you can do to eat seasonally, but I'm just so excited to move into huge farmers market seasons and just soak up the spring and summer produce, more just fresh, lighter things. That's just kind of what I'm feeling right now, is really fresh, really light. I think there's a season for everything. There's a time for everything. There is a place for everything. I feel like I made kind of heavier-ish meals and thick meals, warm meals, but now we're moving into much lighter meals, and that's not because it's dieting season, because I'm already so sick of the dieting culture that I'm seeing lately on social media moving into summer. It's not for that, it's just what the body wants. So I am so grateful for you and for you to watch this video. I have some errands to run, so I need to get the heck out of here, go enjoy this gorgeous spring day. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please leave me a comment below, something that you really enjoyed about this video, or something you'd love to know more of, something you'd love to see from me, whether it's a style of video or just questions you have about the Mediterranean diet, the Mediterranean lifestyle, modern Mediterranean living. That is me. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because I have some really fun videos coming. But until then, I hope you create a very zestful day. Ciao.